Hey everyone, it's Rocky. We're here at World Ghost on World Ghost Radio. Right now on the line, I have, of course, Jason Emmerich. And how you doing, Jason? How you doing tonight, man?
I'm good, you guys. How are you?
I'm doing great. So it's been a long time since since we talked.
Yeah, it's been a couple years, bro.
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and let the audience know of what what got you into the paranormal and a little bit of a background.
Well, first off, I'm a lead investigator for Paranormal Den. I also do some solo stuff. I create some black mirrors, scrying mirrors. Uh, I've been into the paranormal for I got into it about 7 years ago. Didn't get into it heavy until about four or five. Uh, didn't even know what ITC was. Just grabbed a ghost box and heard my name come through with me and my girl's name come through one time, and it just set off from that moment forward. And it's been pretty heavy, and it's changed my life ever since. So a good 5 years, really hardcore.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, man, I rock Paranormal Den, and I've been getting into the whole mirror making thing because it seems like it's been my calling.
Nice, man. So let's talk more about the ITC, which is the spirit boxes, and um, have you like which radio did you start out with?
The 58, not 587, but let's see, the SB7. SB7 is what I started out with.
And then that radio actually has white noise, and you could actually like you heard your name come through the radio, or like were you did you like where did you go? Were you like just
Yeah,
with some friends or?
I asked my fiance if she wanted to hey, let's just go to the cemetery and check it out because I turned it on at my house and
Uh huh.
I heard some stuff coming through and I was like, well, it seems like there's a lot of stuff coming through. Let's go, and we'll record it. I went to a cemetery and didn't even really ask any question, and it said my girl's name. I'm like, hey babe, it just said your name, like clear as day. And no sooner than I said, hey, it just said your name, it said my name. So after that, it was crazy, man. And it was a little different because I was watching Huff online. I was watching Ghost Adventures and shit back then, and these guys I all looked up to when I was doing that. And I was like, man, this stuff's just as good, or sometimes it was just more clear, And I was like, there's something going on, you know what I mean? The connection
Right.
was there, so I just had to work with it a little bit. And utilize it and exploit that little bit of communicator connection that we had.
Nice. So I just want to, if there's anyone out in the chat room, I'm on live Facebook right now. You could see us at facebook.com / paranormal on air. And if you guys want to have any questions, I got right now Jason Emmerich from Paranormal Den. Go ahead and shoot the questions, and then I'll shoot them to him. He's live on the phone right now. And so let's talk about. It's been a few years, man. I know
Yeah,
you're
man.
doing. So I know
It's
that's
been
probably
a
like
long time.
it's been a couple hundred. I don't know. Like I'm sure a few more investigations since the last time that we talked,
Right? Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I want to say is what it's like I've been looking at your work, and it seems that you've been getting more intrigued to I guess the like you said with the mirrors. Can you give me more info? Can you give me more info about that?
Well, to touch on what you were saying, I've been trying to learn how to communicate with all energy.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm into like dark energy, but I believe that to understand energy as a whole, you have to learn and understand all of it. And sometimes it's difficult. Sometimes we experience, negative things and stuff like that, but we got to get past it. But we all learn from it. And one of the ways that I learned how to communicate with all energy was through mirrors. Now, I didn't just say, hey, I'm going to go and make a black mirror one day. It was I was kind of looking for a way to support my family and do what I enjoy doing because, you need gas money to the next location. You need a plane ticket. It doesn't matter. There's things that we have to pay for out of our pocket to do these things that we enjoy doing or gather the information that we enjoy or, for the purpose of research. So I was like searching and I was like, babe, I've seen people who were looking for black mirrors and different ways to enhance their communication. And I seen just a little route I could go. So I decided, hey, why not? I'm going to make a couple black mirrors and, if somebody wants them, they'll buy them. If not, I got some black mirrors for myself then. So,
right.
Well, it kind of went from just that to, it blew up really fast. There was I've sold some to Europe, all over the world, and I had to actually stop making them because there was something going on with every single mirror that I made, and that connection that I see in my ITC work was actually experienced in the mirrors that I made as well. So I wasn't just making scrying mirrors, I was making a piece of me, the energy that was in the room, because my house is crazy haunted.
Right.
There's been over 500 seances performed in it, and not just no normal seance. We've contacted killers, we've contacted princesses, what I mean? There's all kinds of energy that floats in and out of our home, and I'll tell you, those mirrors reflect that. I've sent them, people have had nightmares worse than they've ever had in their life. People have experienced the best communication they've ever had in their lives with them. And it's only when they're there. It's not, there is a noticeable change that's documented and experienced. I feel like, there's a route in all of us spiritually that we take. And I found mine, man. And it's not just the mirrors. It's being able to open up those doorways, to communicate. And that's basically what that whole mirror thing is. I just think it was just a part of my growth as a person or as a spiritual person. And
right.
To kind of understand, because I haven't made a mirror in almost a year, but yet they're talked about like I just made them yesterday, and
right.
It's crazy, bro.
We got a question on Facebook Live. You could always ask your questions, like I said, facebook.com/paranormal on air. And the question is, what is the scariest thing you have experienced?
Wow, that's I experience scary things all the time. Well, let's see. Well, we'll stay on the subject of the mirrors.
Okay.
Right now, I have a mirror that's floating around the U.S. with a good friend of mine. He's taking it across the U.S. to be researched by fellow investigators, researchers, stuff like that, to verify the things that I have personally said happened or documented myself. Well, there's this one mirror where I took a Ouija board and then an antique picture frame and put them together, and then within 4 hours of them being put together, sealed, and becoming a mirror, in my own home, I got chased by a demon, I got chased by a black figure, screaming like a little girl. I'm running to my girl. I sit on the bed, and I'm like, babe, there's like this black figure chasing after me, and there's like this big cool wind that blows in front of me, and I immediately say, hey, it just felt like a little boy ran in front of me. And I have no idea why I'm saying any of this. And
right.
The very next second, there's this like weird feeling wrapping around my legs like a snake would. Well, so the next day we do a ghost box session, and I find out that Valak, the demon, the nun demon in the movies.
The one from was it The Conjuring? Is that?
Yeah, yeah. Well, that demon specifically comes through my radio, and that's the demon that's attached to the mirror. And the demon Valak will come riding a serpent, which I felt wrapping around my damn leg, but I didn't know that that's what it was until
So,
the next day.
how big was this shadow? Like, how tall would you say it was?
He wasn't very tall. He was honestly about the same height as me. I'm about 6'3", but he was black. It was blacker than the darkness in my house. And
Right.
he just came up on me, bro. I'm getting the chills right now. And I had experienced Valak another time, and that was at the Bel Air house. And when I was in the basement of the Bel Air house, he was by the furnace. Now, at my house, I was walking down the steps of my basement, and there's Valak. At that time, I didn't know what it was. So both times that I experienced it, it was in the same spot. It was weird, the connections and the. But yeah, man, that scared me. I don't yell or scream. I've been to the depths of hell in every location, and I don't scare easy like that. And I'm telling you, bro, that was a very, now it's not as frightening as it was that day, but I mean, it scared the crap out of me. And it's something that I will forever. I mean, I learned so much, though, from these negative experiences. It's how you handle that and come through those scary experiences that's when you start learning, what that's about, and making those connections and stuff like that. If I would have stayed in fear and let that beast consume me, it would have got me. You know what I mean? Those were what those little. I mean, it's sketchy doing the things that we do sometimes.
Yeah. So the next question would be, how do you know it was that certain demon?
What'd you say?
How did you know that it was that certain demon? How'd you know it was that one?
Oh, it told me. And it also wrecked. Yeah, I documented video. It said, Valak's here. Valak's gonna hurt you and your family. The very next day, my girl snaps her leg, and and within 4 hours, my grandfather, he went and fell and had a concussion so bad that he was they both were in the hospital the same day. It doesn't hurt. I've had people come in and research that same year and experience Valak, and he doesn't hurt you personally. He hurts the people that you love. I showed you video earlier.
Right.
I kind of prepped you for that mirror, kind of.
Yeah.
That hurt. My friend was only there researching that mirror for 30 minutes, and the next day he sent me all those messages saying, "Hey, my mom was hurt. You seen that burn? His mother's hair caught on fire, and they put it out with a towel, and it had that ram in the burn. I mean, that's crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt you directly, and it lets you know. I mean, if you ask, they will tell you. And Valak definitely told me, and it was crazy.
Do you feel that set you back or push you forward as far as paranormal? For example, with me, my box ended up going rogue on me. So,
Right.
yeah, so it turned on by itself. So you know what I'm saying? It kind of set me back a little bit as far as doing the paranormal. So with this whole situation, did it set you back? Did it did you want to find out more, or how did that all affect you?
It does, because you got to take time to heal. But it also helped me grow. In the beginning, what I was saying in regards to, conquering the evil, if that's how you want to say it. I definitely grew as an investigator, or as a person, actually, because when those things are influencing people, myself included, negative things seem to happen. And when you can always be afraid and scared, but you just cannot succumb to it, because if you succumb to it, that's when they win. It might take weeks, it might take months to come out of that whole cloud that they have produced and put over your life. So, yeah, I mean, it does, but you learn so much, and once you do that, you come out shining, and that's something they hate. When I'm at a location and there's a demonic entity or anything evil, not even just, what people consider demons, like anything evil, will recognize me as a very, very, very powerful, not even an enemy, but an equal sometimes. They hiss, they growl, they don't want me there because, I got to go into that situation knowing that I am stronger than it. And I do, man. I do not let them think that they have me, and they haven't. You know what I mean? They might have came at me and won that battle, but I will win the war. You know what I mean? So, it definitely slows you down a little bit, but what doesn't? How many times during our lives are we affected by these types of things, and we never even know, but we succeed and we grow stronger. So yeah, man, it does, but that's kind of expected.
Did you take?
It's just how we shine on the other side.
Did you take any types of, like, say after all that being affected by? Did you take like any types of steps to protect yourself for like maybe the future? Of being attacked by these dark entities.
Yeah, I think it's just self-empowerment. I really don't have any issues regarding like being influenced or like feel like because you know how you're around even good energy sometimes. When they're there, you can feel them. Your skin crawl. You can feel just the whole conscious connection sometimes. And I don't have those issues. It's only when I'm connecting, like actually connecting or trying to connect is when I feel it. So in those moments, overall, yes, it's just empowerment. When I experienced my first encounter with something evil, I went to church, bro. I mean, I didn't know what else to do. This is years ago. I didn't know.
What denomination are you?
But
What church was it? What religion?
It was just some church down the road. I was kind of desperate. I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to church. But I felt better afterwards. And then I realized that it really wasn't the church. It was just empowering myself. And ever since then, and ever since I became to know my own energy, to gain control over it and what's something else, it's just like you can tell me what to do, but the bottom line is, it's my decision in the end. That's the same way it is with conscious energy, well, I believe that is, that I am the one that makes the decision in the end. So it's empowerment. It's telling myself that I am in control at all times, and that's all I do. And it's something that I don't have to repeat. It's something that I don't have to pray. It's just something known. You know what I mean? And it took me a while. And no, I'm not, I don't have this wall that nothing affects me, because it does, you know what I mean? But it's not something that I have to reach out to and grab. It's already there. And I think all of us have that, whether you want to pray, that's fine. I'm not saying I don't pray or use prayer, or I'm a spiritual person, but it's not, it's just empowerment within yourself. And that's the biggest and best thing that I could tell anyone, is just believe in yourself and just maintain that control.
Yeah, definitely. So since that happened, would you believe that is the hauntedest? Would you believe that's the most haunted location that you've been to?
What, my house?
Oh no, where you met up with Valak.
It's probably one of the most haunted places. Yeah. There's been, I would say that's probably because That's hard to say, yeah. But like when I take that mirror and put that mirror anywhere, bro, that's the most haunted location. It's crazy. So yeah, I would have to say that's probably the most haunted spot in a haunted location when it comes to Valak. That that it's so real, man. In any area where a demon is housed or considers a place or a place to live, or that portal, that little area comes and goes, and is crazy. Malik, which is spoken about in the Quran, is actually a very, I've crossed him more than any demon actually at locations. He's one that's like, he's around when people were killing themselves, and not just like suicide by how we consider it, but like, alcoholism and drugs and stuff like that. So I've encountered him at some of these abandoned houses that is just insane, like coming through, saying his name, and I mean, it's just crazy. So like, any place, not just Valak, but any of these awful beings, where they come and go in that general vicinity is crazy, evil and haunted and scary. It's scary.
But besides what other activity were you having at the house? Like when you were at the location when you first, were there like, how can I put it? Where you said there were growls? Were there also like knocking on the wall? Were like there other types of, what is it?
Yeah, I mean,
Demonic type of activity?
like I've had the three taps. I've heard the three taps
Yeah.
happen. I actually get that a lot. That's like when they're trying to scare me, because it used to scare the crap out of me, man. When I experienced Malik for the first time, he was actually visiting our house, and man, I remember being in our kitchen one time, and yes, again, I probably screamed like a little girl, but I felt like he was behind my back, and no matter how fast I turned, he was still behind my back, just growling and hissing at me. And like I'll kind of see them in like a daydream sometime. It's like sitting in school and you're awake, but you're watching. You're in a totally different world. Well, that's the way it is sometimes for me. And I've experienced and seen things just growling over me. Like you did werewolf type shit, just dripping saliva, just hissing at me. Like, it's crazy. So I experience like the lightweight vision sometimes, and I experience the extreme fear that they're pushing on me. Like just crazy. Just I can't move. Yeah, I experience the tapping, the scratching, the mimicking. The mimicking is really, really crazy because, my girl will be talking to me and saying my name, and it was never her, and she's sitting right next to me. And, I'll hear my dog running across the floor, his chain. The mimicking, like the craziest thing that I experience the most when something evil's around. My stomach will instantly, like, there's things that you can recognize good things, and there's things that you can recognize bad things. The very first thing that I experience when anything negative is around is I feel like I'm gonna throw up. Like, I instantly feel like I'm gonna get sick, and I have to kind of overcome it, like like you're trying to, oh God, I don't want to throw up type.
That's what happened to me over at the old Washoe Club. So I know exactly what happened.
Yeah, it's nobody else's experience, and that happens absolutely every time. I really don't smell too much of like the whole sulfur and like what everybody else experiences. It's more sound for me because I have PTSD, so my senses, like my hearing, seems to come in effect, like hearing the mimicking and stuff like that. And then my sensitivity somehow with the whole stomach, I mean, it's absolutely every time. If I'm saying that my stomach's weird right now, like I feel like I'm going to throw up, then I would think that there's something negative around. It's pretty dead on. But yeah, the whole stomach is crazy.
I got a question from Facebook from Laura Lee. She asks, have you experienced or the demon entity Rom?
No, I haven't. I'll tell you which ones that I have experienced, and there's not many that I have. I mean, not that I've tried to get their names. It's very hard sometimes to get their names. I've dealt with Seven. I've dealt with Zozo. I have dealt with Malik, Valak, and the entity that represents himself as Lucifer. There are three other ones that come and go during my sessions, but they're nameless. They haven't said anything. So I know I've dealt with 8 that I know of, but 3 of them I do not. They will not give up their names, and I do know that they're separate. And the other 5, Zozo and Seven, I've been working with Darren Evans and Joe Vitale. We were trying to figure out if Zozo and Seven were one and the same. And let me tell you, bro, they are ruthless. But yeah, those are the 5. Those are the 5 that I have gotten their names, because I'm not a demonologist or anything, and I don't go out of my way to research demonic entities. It's when I am being messed with, or I specifically hear the name myself, and I'm like, wait, what the hell is that? And who's that? You know what I mean? And then I'll go research it. So, I mean, that's just the entities that I know for a fact that have came through many times and said their names. So yeah, never that one specifically.
So I got a question for you. You said that you react, like your body reacts when you know there's some type of the demonic entity. So say you're listening to the spirit box and it says devil or demon. Are you like, nah, it isn't?
No, I will follow up. You know.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I'll be like I'm talking to you, because that's what it is, man. You know, everybody thinks that it's a spirit, and no, man. I always picture myself in a room with these bullies or these good people, and I'm trying to communicate. Okay, you say you're a demon, or okay, well, why? Why are you saying this? You know, is it just to get me out of the room, to scare me, or are you what you say you are, or is it just something that you're repeating as in a warning? You know, because there's the word demon could mean a million different things. So I inquire. You know what I mean? I'll figure it out. And most of the time, when I'm running ghost box sessions, you know, I'm already there, focusing my energy to communicate with something specific. So most of the time, I'll know if it's a warning. You know, not know like 100%, but you know, you never do when you're talking to a human either. So it's the same. It's the same route. You know, I'm kind of questioning. You know, well, why did you say that type of route?
So when you first started doing investigations and stuff, was it like the first time you went out, it was like dark, or did it like gradually get dark, or?
Well, it's not always been dark. I've kind of chosen to go this route the last year, and I'm actually almost done with what I feel like the knowledge that I needed to learn. I'm actually going to. It was always just all energy, you know, coming through, and I chose to go the route of people that that didn't get through with their research. You know, some people tried to contact one entity that I contacted. I ended up contacting 5 in the same night, and I'm telling you, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But the guys in the past were dying, you know, days, sometimes weeks after initiating contact with some of the entities that I did. So I felt like I feel like I've succeeded. You know, a lot of this research is going to be released soon, and I feel like it's going to benefit all of us, because it's the questions that we all have been reading that were asked and never got answered totally, you know, and you know, but it comes together collectively. I just feel like there's just so much that we couldn't understand about our own conscious energy without understanding both sides of both sides of the spectrum. You know, I'm one of the nicest people anybody could meet, and I'm a very loving and kind person. You know, it's not something that anybody wants to walk through, is that darkness. But I feel like I have spiritually, and I've gained so much knowledge, and I want everybody to have it. And I'm moving away from it, honestly. It's just one of those things where I felt like I needed to do in my research, and that was to fully go head over heels and into the whole the darkness, because nobody else is venturing real deep into it. You know what I mean? So
Right.
my next step is like, you know, outside of the earth, or like extraterrestrial, or, you know, conscious energy that we're not familiar with, that none of us are, or hasn't been written. So that's my next step, is to kind of get out of the whole norm when it comes to angels and demons. You know what I mean? I want to kind of move past that eventually, within the next, I would say 2020, I'm doing that. So I got a lot of stuff to finish up in my research, as far as like all of this stuff that we just went through. But I want to, you know, I want everybody to hear it. And I got so much video and audio of things that are very, very evil, you know, telling me the truth. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people think that all these things are full of lies. No. Sometimes they tell you the truth that makes you hurt the most. You know what I mean? So it's not just, you just got to hear it from both sides, man. I got it. You know, I feel like I do. And it's not something that's always, I mean, yeah, it's always been there, but it's not something that I always walked and talked with, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense. We got another question from Facebook. Daryl, shout out to Daryl. How you doing, man? He asks, do you plan on making any more mirrors?
I do, actually. I was thinking about, I don't know how many. I got a lot of projects. I'll be working with Austin Maynard up in Defiance, Ohio, with a couple other friends. The Raid Chasers are going to be there. We're going to do an event up there, and I plan on making a couple for a couple of my friends. And I have on my page, facebook.com/Dark Scribes. That's my mirror. That's my page where I make the mirrors.
Throw the plugs. Throw the plugs.
Welcome. Go ahead.
No, I said go ahead. Throw the plugs. Throw them.
Right. No, but you know, yeah, I would. You know, I would gladly make somebody a mirror, but they scare the shit out of me, like for real. You know, and it's not just me. It scares me for the people that have them, because it's not just you know, I'll look at some of these mirrors that people have, and they do not experience the same things that people experience with my mirrors. And it's not just one person. I have documented every single person. People that are skeptics have gotten my mirrors. I've given my mirrors out. And they have tried to mail them back to me, because it's that insane. And that scares me, man. You know, I don't want to make a mirror and somebody get hurt, you know, or make a mirror and somebody just be getting into ITC research and not be empowered and them get hurt, man. I wouldn't know what to do with myself if something that I made hurt an individual. So that's my biggest thing, man, is safety, you know, because I mean, thank God that I kind of had the experience as I was making them to kind of get out of the situations that the energy itself was creating, because it pulls in every bit of the energy, like I said, hundreds of seances, all that energy in one mirror. Like if I'm angry that day, or if I'm happy, all that energy. I mean, there are things that I haven't even considered, like what's my subconscious doing, you know? All that stuff is imprinted in that mirror, you know what I mean? So everything that's going on is there. It's part of what that mirror is from day one. And as soon as it's sealed, they all are different. And I'm not saying that everybody has this evil, crazy stuff happening. I'm saying that people take pictures of full body apparitions, not expecting it. I have people saying that they have nightmares. I mean, some are happy with the communication. It's just like, they open it up and they don't really have to do much. They're getting crystal clear communication that nobody else gets. It's just insane. They're all different, but they all hurt somebody because of lack of knowledge. It's a totally different level of scrying here. And I just don't, yes, I will build more mirrors, and I'll definitely be doing that over the next year or two. How many, I don't know, but they're not just going to go out.
How many mirrors do you think you've made so far?
Probably about 25, I would think, in between 20 and 25.
That's a lot of mirrors. Even though it's a low number, that's a lot of mirrors now. So.
Yeah, especially with the power that they hold, it's crazy. I made the first 10. I just grabbed, everything. I didn't go into it knowing any of this. I made 10 right off the bat, and then I'm like, well, why don't I just make one at a time? Because I'm an artist anyways, so it kind of gave me I put more energy and stuff into it. And those mirrors, that second set, are the ones that really, I mean, I took hours, sometimes days, just in certain parts of it, making it look nice, and going out and buying glass that's hundreds of years old, where people have looked at that picture frame, like all that shit absorbs energy. So I try to make it look nice, on top of just making a mirror. And I'll tell you, all that energy that not just me, I believe that anyone can do it. I just didn't know that that's what was going to be done, and but yeah, man, it's wicked. It's awesome.
What's your favorite what's your favorite spirit box? I'm curious, man.
Right now, I'm the handheld radio person. I have one on me everywhere. I've done ghost box sessions everywhere. But probably the 802, the 12802, and the 587. There's nothing that I've ever. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've used Huff's box at the Bel Air house. She had one sitting out. It was amazing. But I've used similar creations elsewhere that were just as good, but hands down, with the ease that there is behind grabbing my little radio and being able to use it anywhere, it's got to be the 12802 and the 587, man.
587.
To me, there's nothing like it. I like the fact that a lot of them, the free air EVPs that are just, because I could have it setting on a frequency, and just the free air EVPs that are in the air will actually be enhanced through the speaker, so it's not just the frequencies changing and giving us the normal ghost box little bits and words and pieces. Like, I'm actually able to catch EVPs, but like they're being amplified, idling, so those radios, whatever they did, making them, and however the frequencies will just idle or switch, it doesn't matter. It's amazing. With just that alone is awesome. I love it. Yeah, those are my radios. Those are my go-to.
Are you planning any type of investigations in the future? Are you going to be going to any new locations or any investigations?
I actually have quite a bit. I've been I got let's see here. The Chippewa Lake Slaughterhouse. I was doing investigations out there for a while, and I'll probably be going back there soon to do some more. I was actually going to run private investigations out there, but we kind of stopped that because it's really hard, because they're a haunted attraction, and with competitors and stuff, we figured it'd be the best route to just let me come out there and hang out. So, it's an awesome place. It's full of crazy energy. I've had some of your friends, mutual friends, come there and visit and investigate with me, and it's an amazing place. So yeah, I'm all the time investigating, bro. My life is consumed by trying to understand energy and where we're going to go with it and, what happens to us, because we're all cut from the same cloth. So I'm trying to understand, why we were severed in the way we were when we chose to enter the physical form. I believe that we're more connected than what we're led on to believe,
Yeah.
So my goal is to investigate all day long, every day, but I can't.
No, definitely, man. I like getting out there, and I'm going to be going on an investigation this weekend too. Uh, but it's just amazing of all this. Well, what do you think's the best piece of evidence that you've captured, being an investigator?
Um, Well, I don't know. Visually, I would probably say I did an investigation in the house that my grandfather, and my father and my grandmother passed away, and my father, he passed away of a heart attack in his bed, and me and my brother and two of my nieces were in his bedroom, pitch black. And my brother's sitting on the floor. It was an empty house. They were actually getting ready to sell it. So I was like, you know
Hmm.
what, let's go over there and investigate a little bit because a lot of things have happened. Well, my brother's sitting on the floor, and I'm panning around the room with my night vision camera. And at the time, I didn't see it. But during review, I'm looking at it, I'm just watching it. I don't even know how I seen it because it was so fast. But when I was panning around, my brother was sitting on the floor, and right on his elbow, he was sitting Indian style, on his elbow was this like black hand. It was a shadow hand. And as I'm panning, it moves away. It's like the perfect uh, shadow hand. It was crazy. And it just on my brother's hand, on his elbow, and it moves away faster than like I'm panning. So I had to slow it down, and I seen
Hmm.
it, and I'm like, oh my God. Like it was just amazing. It was cool. I've captured, and it's crazy because I'm not saying my dad's the poltergeist, but my dad, 2 weeks after he passed, we set up fishing poles, which fishing was like one of his favorite things to do. Well, they had been sitting there for 2 weeks, and my sister decides to go down and sing to him. She's the only person in the house. We have this recorded too. She starts to sing, and right, like, I don't know, 5 seconds after she starts singing, those two fishing poles that are in the corner both come out of the corner in opposite directions, and then right above them there's a shadow hand again that moves up the door frame. So I mean, yeah, that's some of the best visual evidence. As far as voice and stuff, like I couldn't even name one. I've captured thousands and thousands of just free air EVPs and stuff, but I guess like to visualize and get that validation of, okay, now it's real type stuff. Probably the hands in my dad's room is probably the best, I would think.
Nice, nice. That is, man. That's crazy. So where do you think is the, how could I put it, like, best, like, or no, not best, but I guess your favorite. Where's your favorite place to investigate?
Um, Probably my own house. I don't do it very often because kids and stuff like that. But
Right.
we're like the Adams family, if you want to say. 'Cause my kids dig it. I got like our young kids dig it and they love it. But when it comes down to it, and when I do allow investigations there, which is very rare, you know who Sean Combs is? Well,
Sean Combe, yeah.
he,
I think
yeah,
he recently
he
got
came
married
over
to,
from
yeah.
yeah, he came over from the UK, and I let him and Nicole come and stay at our house, and we
Hmm.
investigated it, and I've let a couple other people come and investigate it, and it's insane, bro. I mean, my house is crazy. Like, we have to keep it under control most of the time. But what's cool is the energy in our home, whether it's negative or positive, they respect it, or I will make them go. You know what I mean? So like
Yeah.
we all have this like little. So I don't investigate there often, but yeah, if I was to go and want to catch anything that I've ever tried to catch on, whether film or running a radio, it don't matter. My house is by far the most haunted place I've ever been. So, I love investigating my house. I just don't. That's just because we live there. So,
Do
yeah.
do you have any like besides the hack shacks, and do you use any other type of paranormal equipment?
Not really. I don't even use. I mean, I have other equipment.
Mm-hmm.
I have DVR system. I have access to SLS cameras, but I don't do very much of anything else. I don't even use digital recorders. I'd say 99% of every EVP I've ever captured has been through my phone. Dakota Layden, he was talking to me, joking about it. He's like, "What did you use to capture those EVPs?" I was like, "Well, I just used my phone." He's like, "Dude, because everybody's out buying these
I knew you were
$1,000
getting,
orders, and
yeah,
I
the
have
the
I have the
DR60.
DR7, I have the
Yeah.
DR5, and none of them are even compared to the ones that I've captured on my, not just one phone, but just different phones. I don't know. It's just I've never gotten into it, but yeah, I have some of the equipment. I mean, I just don't. I don't utilize it like everyone else does.
Right.
I don't know why. I just never had to. I guess I don't know.
Man, I mean, like, yeah, if for people out there, if you ever want to investigate, the phone is, it's a good piece of gear, especially with the phone, they make now with recorders.
I mean, the
And
newer phones, like
yeah,
like the new Samsungs and stuff. I mean, those the effort that they put into making sure that those phones are fine tuned in every area
right,
are great. So I mean, if you're wanting to get a good recorder, you probably have one. I mean, you can go look at my Facebook page, and all of the ones that are on my Facebook page are clear as day, and they are captured on my phone. So they're good, man. It's just easy. It's there all the time, and I use it. I utilize it.
yeah, it's, I, um, what piece of gear would you want, like, that you don't have?
I would like a newer SLS camera. My girl, she loves that, and I've been kind of getting into it. I have video of me, like, being touched on my face, and they're asking me where I'm being touched, and I'm telling them because I can feel, like, the static on my face, my
Right.
elbows. So we try to validate what what's being picked up. I'd like to do more research with maybe not even just the SLS, but something similar to where I can validate the feelings or of me being touched, like the staticky, the hair raising on your arm.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want something to visualize what is touching my arm, and for me to not have somebody saying, "Oh, it's touching your arm," and being suggestive. Versus, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah,
that's the type of stuff.
yeah.
I like to eliminate all the suggestive stuff and let me tell you where I think it's touching me. And I have video of an entity doing exactly just that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the type of stuff that I would like to do. I'd like to get a more in tune or something a little bit better than an SLS, and I believe we will have that soon.
That's cool, man. Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we're running out of time here. So if any, I guess you were shooting out plugs earlier. So go ahead and shoot out your plugs, where they could find you, social media, where you're at on the net.
Well, hey, all you got to do is visit me at facebook.com/paranormal den. Everything comes in through that. That's my group. That's my fiance. That's my cousin, Rusty. You go there and you will find everything. I have my public figure page is linked through there. Our YouTube page is linked through there. My Dark Scries page is linked through there. Everything just seems to come to a point through there. And yeah, I mean, it's we're all together, and I really do appreciate you guys having me on the show. You guys are awesome. I don't know why it took so damn long for us to get together and talk again.
I've been on a vacation.
It was awesome. Yeah, you wanted to make sure I was getting my mirrors and shit out of the way.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, brother, it was good, man. I appreciate everybody listening in the chat rooms and all the questions and stuff like that because it's not over. I mean, this is about the future and where I plan on going with it and taking everybody with me as far as just giving them out information. So stay tuned. It's gonna rock.
I got one more question. I'm gonna shoot out one more question at you. This one is, have you ever got any images from your mirrors?
Yeah, yes. And on that note, you can go to Paranormal Den's Facebook page, and you will see some. Maybe I'll go ahead and post some either today or early morning, and you guys can check them out.
Awesome, man. Appreciate it. And we appreciate you, coming on the show. I also want to thank today my producer Waz. Thank you in the background back there. And you could always find me at worldghost.com. Also, if you mention me, be sure to go down to Las Vegas Oddities, mention Rocky, and they'll hook you up. Shout out to Mahadi. And we're gonna end this show off. So thanks so much, Jason. Thank you for being here, man.
Thank you.
All right, have a good one, man.
Yeah, have a good night.
Killing it. Trying to end it.